Hello, everyone. How you doing? It's Adam here. Sorry I've been out of the loop a little bit this last few weeks. I have been very sick. We had the COVID go through the family, so I am on the mend, but the last 3 weeks I have been down for the count. So I figured I would pop back up and just kind of give you a status video on some things that are happening. And of course, this has given me a lot of time to think this last few weeks, to think and to write and just kind of reflect on some things. So I figured I would take a few moments just to share some of that with all of you. So in that perspective, I have realized that I am coming to the end of another 7-year cycle of my life. And what I mean by that is that my life has always kind of run in these 7-year cycles. I can track it all the way back to my childhood. And it occurred to me that I'm at the very end of a 7-year cycle. 7 years ago, this month, as a matter of fact, coming up in a couple of days, I had sold my home in Grants Pass, packed the entire place up by myself, filled up a 30-yard dump box overflowing with crap and trash that I didn't want to carry with me anymore in my life, and packed up the birds and the dog and headed off to Seattle, to my new home in Seattle. And what has become very obvious to me during this time period is exactly how much has happened in the last 7 years of my life. I built a life in Seattle, built a business in Seattle, made friends in Seattle, moved back to the Oregon coast to be around family. I went to work for a defense contractor, got into drones very heavily. After leaving that horrible situation, I went back to work for myself. I started another company. I bought a house. I experienced a lot of professional highs and lows, and I experienced some personal highs, really highs, and extreme lows. And a lot of that stuff I thought would never happen to me again in my life. But the side effect of all of that was that I created a lot of really amazing music. All of these things that happened to me in my life, they end up filtering themselves out in my music. That's my catharsis. That's my vent. That's where I take all of those things that I've had to deal with all by myself in my life, and I push them all into that musical realm. And I still have a lot to sift through. And I'll find that I'll come to a period of time in my life where I'll have this overwhelming volume of music that I have to finish, process. I spit most of that stuff into my voice recorder, and it takes years to get through a lot of that stuff. And some of it doesn't end up making it into full songs. Some of them are just little arrangements. Maybe I've got a chorus here or a verse there. But all of that life experience gets filtered through that musical lens. And that's how I live my life. I'm a musician. And it's been a hell of a 7-year cycle. And I say all that to say this. Being a musician is, in the most pure form, a reflection of everything that happens within your life. Artists are inspired by the things that happen around them, happen to them, happen to people that they care about and that they know and love. And that is where we gain our inspiration from. And everything that happens along the way finds its way into music for me. I'm not a formula guy. So I'm not a guy that sits down and says, okay, today I'm going to be inspired. I'm going to write a tune in this key, and it's going to be this many beats a minute, and here's this I'm going to write this melody in this line, and I'm going to use this scale. I don't do any of that. My musical theory, what inspires me, comes from those experiences that happen in my life, to myself and other people. As you can see, I'm drinking my nice hot Tazo orange tea with honey and fresh squeezed lemon, taking care of my voice. My musical theory comes from emotion and feel. And I've had a lot in the last 7 years to pick through. A lot has happened in this last 7-year cycle that's torn my heart out and given me a rich and fertile soil musically. It's my way. It's the way I've always been, and it's the way I'll always be. And once I kind of get back on top of feeling a little better and on top of catching up with the business things that have kind of fallen by the wayside this last several weeks, I'm trying to play catch up there a lot with web projects and other video editing and other projects that clients are paying me for. And once I work my way through a lot of that, there will be a lot more music coming. So I figured I would just take a few moments catch you all up to speed and share some of my thoughts with you. I appreciate all your patience with me while this is all going on, and I appreciate you all for coming to the channel and watching these little snippets of things while I'm doing the creative process. But I also want to be able to open up and share what's going on. If life inspires me, and that's where the music comes from, perhaps that gives you, the viewer, a better understanding of what makes my mind tick and what these pieces of music actually mean, what they're all about. And I very much appreciate you all letting me get some of this off of my chest. It's a good thing to be able to share this kind of personal content. It is a good venue to be able to share some of this and to give you a little better mind's eye view into what makes me who I am as a person, and how that translates into me being an artist. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we will be back to the music really soon. Take care of each other, everyone. I'm going to go back to taking care of myself. Can't beat that. Have a great day, folks.